Eva Marie, good to see you. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so great to talk to you, and what a great story, what a great journey to get to SummerSlam for you. So let's start with your return to WWE, because it kind of came out of the blue a little bit a few months ago. Why did you come back?
Well, first off, I have to say, I have to let everybody know, huge fan of yours, so I'm ecstatic to be here. I've watched your show, multiple shows.
Thank you.
So for a very long time, so it's really cool to actually meet you in person and have this interview with you at the biggest show of the summer, SummerSlam. And I'm on the card. So the journey it's not really out of the blue. When I left or stepped away 4 years ago, I knew I was always coming back. It was just a matter of when. And then talks started happening. Well, first, Vince McMahon, Steph, and Triple H, super supportive throughout, not only taking a chance on a no-name kid in 2013, but also through all of my endeavors outside of WWE, and then always kind of stayed in the loop and in the know with all of my projects, from movies, TV, film, and then doing my own businesses and things. So real conversation of me coming back probably started, I would say, about a year ago. And then that's when it kind of really became, oh, we're doing this. And then after about 10 months or so, then the evolution came back.
If they don't reach out to you, do you think you ever come back? Was it more of their idea, or were you the one that?
I would say it's mutual,
okay.
But I always have, I have so much respect for the company because they really gave me everything, in the sense of I was able to create my brand, I was able to fulfill a dream of mine, and they found me on a diva search, and went ahead, and from a tryout to then a developmental contract to then all of a sudden putting me onto the main roster, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown immediately is like unheard of. I don't think there's going to be another superstar that has my story, for sure. And then to be having all of that showcase on Total Divas, I owe everything to this company. And the fact to be able to come back and just kind of capitalize on this crazy, over-the-top character is awesome.
So it's interesting when the news starts coming out that you're coming back and the vignettes start to air.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you know, she's coming back.
Sure.
There, and you know, social media, you know, the fans are, why her? Why is she coming back? Push this person. You got this person, and now it seems, correct me if I'm wrong, like you're leaning into that. You're playing into it. You're obviously a heel, and you're almost poking them a little bit, the internet fans.
I see what you say. You like to be your heelish.
Yes, yes.
I don't want to butcher your last name.
Helwani.
Helwani.
Yes,
okay, there we go.
Yeah,
so
we're same wavelength.
Exactly.
Yes, I like it. I respect it. But was that always the plan, or did you quickly realize, oh, you know, because there's been times in fighting.
Sure.
A guy, I think of like a Josh Koscheck, he was hated, and initially I think he didn't know how to react to it.
Sure.
And then he leaned into it, and then it made him an even bigger star. Were you the same sort of way? At first, did it rattle you, and then did you say, oh, wait a second, if I actually lean into this, it's going to be better for me?
You know, I think in WWE, you know, it's the biggest stage ever. Best show in the world. You have a good guy and a bad guy. You need the bad guy for a super good guy, right? So when I first started in 2013, everything was brand new. Social media, me even learning how to wrestle, being on the main roster. So you had all of these crazy components kind of getting thrown at me. Plus, I think now too, everybody wants to be loved on social media. Everybody wants to have that approval. So I really feel the first time I saw this go down and someone do it successfully was in the UFC Chael, when he fought Anderson Silva.
The bad guy. Wow, you're a real fan. You follow this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Respect.
And my husband and I were like, damn, killed it. Just so good at what he did that he really is the first guy to really do. I mean, now you see a lot of UFC guys doing it, some well, some not so well. And me coming back, I knew my character, I wasn't going to be a babyface. I knew that out the gate. If anybody really thought that I was going to come back and possibly be a babyface, they're out of their mind. So it's one of those things where I embrace it. I lean into the heel Eva Marie character because it's fun, and if you're not leaning into that, then you're not going to be good for the show.
How did you feel about the idea to team you up with Piper, who is now known as Dewdrop?
Oh my God, loved it. She's a savage. She's an amazing athlete from the UK, killed it out there, and to be teamed up with someone of not only her talent, but we mesh so well together is incredible. And I really want our storyline to continue, even though, you know, right now we had a little bit of an issue this last Monday. But I love working with her. She's fantastic. And so I really want us to kind of continue. And that's part of me coming back too, is I want to use my platform, my social media, and really elevate and also put over younger talent that don't have that big of eyes on them.
So when you say put over, like, is the ultimate goal for you to actually become a champion, or do you prefer more of the manager valet role, personality role? What is the and you're smiling, I'm not sure.
I'm smiling just because, of course, you know, I feel like anybody that's coming into the WWE, if you're not thinking of gold, you're out of your mind. You know, I love playing my role, my character, but definitely I have the women's gold in my future for sure, as well as the tag team titles too. So me coming back, you know, I kind of want it all, and I like to disrupt things, and clearly I'm doing a pretty damn good job at that.
You have been open in the past about your battles with alcohol, things of that nature. How's that going now?
Awesome. I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of, is another reason I came out publicly on Total Divas Season 1, just because I really feel when you have something that you might be ashamed of or embarrassed of or whatever, you take out any of the power of anybody else when you speak about it first. So I really wanted to speak of that pretty quickly, just so that way nobody could beat me to the punch per se. And once I did, you know, there were so many people that reached out to me just saying thank you, because, you know, either they're struggling with addiction, or it's in their family, or their boyfriend, cousin, somebody, you know, it's closely related to them. And for me to be able to kind of showcase that I work at this thing every day. And that's why, like, my motto is one day at a time, because I work a 12-step program. I have a sponsor. I sponsor other women. I go to AA meetings. I'm really, really open and honest about it, because addiction is real, and I have to work through that every single day. I celebrated 8 years in March. So thank you. It's something that I used to be ashamed of and didn't want to, like, hide and tell anybody about, but now it's one of the most things I'm very proud of, because without my sobriety, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair talking to you. I wouldn't have an amazing husband, a beautiful marriage, and be in SummerSlam this weekend. I would not even have this job if I wasn't sober and working a 12-step program. So it's one of those things that I definitely, when I can, shout it from the tops of my lungs, because it's given me everything.
If I could ask, and the reason I ask is because I think people take inspiration from this, because people go through this type of stuff every day, every walk of life. What was rock bottom for you?
You know, like, many times. I'm Mexican-Italian, so I have a very strict household. I'm the youngest of all boys. But the moment that I left my parents' house to venture into college and things of that nature, that's when things kind of started to ravel and get out of hand, because it was like, oh my God, no curfew, what? Right. Oh my God, I could do this, oh my God. So I had all of these things, you know, and so a lot of downfalls. But I would say I first got sober at 23 because of my oldest brother. He got sober, and I look up to him to this day. And so you know, wrecking cars, getting DUIs, and going to jail, those aren't normal things, especially not how I was raised. And you know, I knew that I didn't want to be that person. So I think that was one of my really low moments. But, you know, I had to fall a lot more to figure it out, to actually make the decision, because that's really the ultimate thing, is so many people can steer you into the right direction. parents, brothers, sister, your family. But if you're not willing to put in the work, because that's the thing. It's so simple to get sober, but it's so difficult at the same time. That's why they say it's a simple program, but you got to put in the work because it's hard. So I got sober at 23, and then I had 3 years of sobriety, and I decided to take over the wheel and thought that I was in control again, and I was like, I got this. I was young, no biggie, I'm fine. I called my sponsor, I said, thank you so much, I love you. Normal things were coming back to me. Driver's license being one, being a normal member of society was starting to happen, and then I was like, I'm good. And then as soon as I decided to do that and kind of stop doing what I knew was working, that's when things went out of hand again. So then I got sober again at 28, and now this is my second time, and hopefully the last time, because it's hard making it back.
Right. And was it 3 months in jail?
Yeah.
What was that like?
You would think that would be my low moment.
Yeah.
And totally being like, that was the aha. That was like, once I got out, I was sober and I was great. But it wasn't, because after that experience, your mind forgets. And you think that you're a normal person, but that's not normal behavior. So, I tripped and fell a couple more times, and then I finally got sober at 23 after that stint. But, I did the jail time just because I love my parents so much, and I know and I appreciate how much they have done for myself and my brothers, in the sense of, my mom's from Mexico. My dad's Italian. They talk about blood, sweat, and tears for the American dream, and to give me and my brothers everything that they never had. So for me I couldn't just pay a fine and go move in with mommy and daddy. No way. That was just not going to happen. So I made sure I finished college, graduated, and then I was like, okay, went and then turned myself in so that, I didn't have to pay a fine.
Wow. And I'm sorry for asking you all these questions.
I'm like, geez, I feel like I'm having a Jerry Maguire moment, where everyone's like, I'm not going to cry.
No, I'm not trying to get you to cry.
That's
but
okay.
You're a heel, and it's an inspiring story, so it's almost like I'm trying to turn you face, but I'm not.
Those two things are two different people, It's like, people also forget, wrestling it's storytelling.
Yeah.
It's script. This is not the UFC. We're not going out there and really going pound for pound. It's scripted television. We know who is going to win and lose. And our characters are over the top and extravagant, but that doesn't mean that I can't be a bad guy on TV, but then go and do amazing things out in actual real life, And I think that's where people sometimes get a little confusion with the two, but I have no problem living kind of the double. Even on my social media, I'm double. I'm super heel all of a sudden, and then if you tune in and look at my page on Wednesday, I'm back to the normal.
Right. I was actually just going to ask you about that, because there are many times where I feel like, I'm just waking up with 3 kids, I'm tired all the time, and I see your stories, and you're doing these workouts on a Sunday and burpees and freaking 45 minutes and running, and your dog's there. Shoot question here. Do you have
Look at your terminology.
Let's
go.
This is a shoot. Do you have banked footage, evergreen footage that you put out, or is that all in real time? Because it is pretty damn amazing if you are working out that much and at that intensity almost every day.
Thank you. Majority of the stuff, especially that you see on my stories, everything is real time.
Wow.
Just because
Respect.
I wish that I was a little bit better with that kind of filming and having all this banked content, but a lot of the times I'll just throw up the phone in my gym, and then get me doing it in real time, and then that way I could actually take that footage and throw it on Instagram. So if you're looking at my stories, that's all real time, but sometimes my actual posts will be from that week.
Okay. It's amazing. I get tired just watching it, to be honest. If anyone wants motivation,
thank you.
I'm assuming they're following you already, but I would urge them to do so. This storyline with Alexa Bliss is an interesting one. Are you enjoying it?
I love it. I think that it's super fun. It's very different than what is on Raw or SmackDown, and especially in the women's division. And I think that's what makes the show the best show in the world, is that, you have the wrestling fans, the WWE universe, the best fans in the world, and they are diehard for sure. But you also have to remember, everyone's going to have their favorite bits and pieces of the show. And so for me in particular, I love this because it's such a different element. You can only go so many directions if you're just driving all about one way. I feel like this one is just so different. You have no idea what's going to happen with Alexa. You have no idea what I'm going to do. Now we have this ugly little doll, Lily, incorporated, so it makes for good television, and it's fun. You have no idea what's happening, and plus Dewdrop is amazing in the sense of adding another dynamic element, and I think that's what's fun to kind of keep tuning in to see. Even if you don't like it, you want to see what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people, the WWE universe, the ones that per se don't like me when I know they do, they want to tune in to see what I'm going to do, good, bad, or indifferent, So I think that's what makes me love this programming, love this show, and love my job, because this character that I get to play, she's pretty crazy.
Yes. Do you ever let the comments get to you? Do they ever throw you off? Do they ever get in your head?
You know what's crazy is if you had asked me that in 2013, I would say for sure.
Yeah.
But now, not at all. I embrace it. If anything, I encourage it. I'm like throwing them almost softballs to continue on, because I think if I look at myself as, if I'm a fan and I come to a WWE show, if I come to SummerSlam per se, because we are in SummerSlam week, the biggest show of the summer for us, and I'm sitting in, the front section where you're close, and you get to boo, yell, interact with me and my character, you get to walk home and talk about that moment. And that's what being a part of the WWE is all about, putting smiles, or in some cases, emotion, for me more so, because not too many are smiling, in them, and interacting with them, because that's a memorable moment. They're going to be like, oh my God, did you see or hear what Eva Marie said to me? And that's what gives me adrenaline.
Before I let you go, just curious, because I know you're a big fan, I feel like I know the answer to this question, but I will ask it anyway. Favorite UFC fighter right now? I'll tell you who I think
Tell me who you think.
I think it's Jorge Masvidal, because I noticed that you pump him up a lot.
Right.
Am I wrong?
I would have to say you are not wrong.
Okay.
You are not wrong.
Or maybe you're off the bandwagon after he lost.
No. Okay. Don't get it twisted.
All right,
Calm down.
All right.
There is no bandwagonness whatsoever.
Just checking.
I like Masvidal a ton, and this was even before this band. Get out of here with his bandwagonness. I actually was at his fight when he knocked out Ben.
Oh, wow.
In person.
Yeah.
I caught it on my own phone.
Wow. In Vegas, right?
In Vegas. Yeah. I'm literally right next to my husband. Just threw up the phone. I was there with Rain Body Fuel.
Okay.
So, which is a part of Monster Energy. And we were all there. Threw up my phone. Seriously, thank God I did not blink, because I would have missed it. So I've been a fan of his for quite some time, and then it just so happened that he just exploded. Yes. And I just have so much respect for him, and the way that he is a great. There's nothing worse than to see someone win and be very confident and great, but it's also the worst when you see them lose and them have a bad attitude. Super gracious, awesome. I saw him on your show and handled himself like a G. And then I would have to say I'm a huge fan of Izzy, though. I love Izzy, because talk about someone, he's a troll, man.
Right.
On Twitter, on social.
Yes.
Amazing. So it's hard to say a favorite. It's hard because I love the sport.
Sure, yeah.
So it's difficult to have just one. I like a little cluster. But yeah, I'd say Izzy and Jorge for sure.
Okay. Well, great to meet you. Great to
You
talk
too.
to you, and great to see you back. You're doing great work. I'm a fan. We appreciate at BT Sport, you're always interacting.
Oh my
with
God,
the,
you guys, seriously, you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Because I know it takes, and sometimes I'm a little out there, so the fact that you guys like play off it too and fun, it's cool. So you guys are amazing, and I appreciate you guys showing me love too.
Thank you, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
We look forward to it.
Awesome.